Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, folks, I'm telling you, with all the breaking news from last week with Prince Andrews, or actually Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, from everything that happened with him last week, there are these ripple effects that have permeated throughout the palace and those who are associated with royalty. And what we have now is Sarah Ferguson is going to be completely off the rails, buck wild crazy. And the person that has been influenced, I believe, the most by Fergie is Meghan. Well. It looks like there are some things that Sarah is getting ready to do. And it looks like these are things that are going to be things that Meghan Markle will resonate with. Only because of what is getting ready to happen with Sarah Ferguson, it's going to be fuel for the American ex-royal in Montecito. It's going to fuel some things that are not going to be good for the royal family. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's not going to be good for the royal family. And so we look at Sarah Ferguson. She definitely has this mentor-like vibe that Meghan is looking to as an example that she is going to follow. And we're going to talk about what's going to happen with Fergie that is going to fuel, I believe, some not so good things from Meghan Markle. Let's get into it, folks. I'm a redhead today. Yes. I'm a redhead. Do you like? I get a lot of compliments when I wear this piece, so I think I'll wear it more often. But anyway, what are we talking about today? Well, before I go into the story for today, I definitely want to mention this post that Meghan did on her social media. I cannot for the life of me understand this woman and what she thinks she is doing. It's like the ghetto of this woman never ceases to amaze me. How can you be so cringe? How can you be so obvious in your stupidity to post a video of you celebrating the Dodgers win on camera and then have the nerve to post it? This is what Meghan posted, and to me, Harry looks so annoyed. He looks so disgusted and done with this woman. It's like, what can he do at this point? He is literally a hostage of his own making. He is the hostage. Meghan has this man captive in his own inability to make decisions. He doesn't know what to do. What in the world are you doing? Screaming like a wounded pig, acting like a fool on camera. These are the things that you do in the privacy of your own home. Your excitement is done not by setting up a camera and filming it, but just being happy. But Meghan can't just be happy. She has to show people that she's happy, to prove to everyone that life is good, life is grand. But you look at it and you think, girl, what you doing? Like, what does that mean? Why are you posting this? And I think it has even more of a message towards Harry, because to me, it feels like she is trying to show Harry, be excited about this American pastime of baseball. Be excited about the things that are happening in America. Really hold true to my enjoyment from something that is very specifically special to American life. It's almost like Harry has to succumb to anything that brings him happiness around his own traditions and culture, but really celebrate the moments of the American pastime of baseball. Something that doesn't even feel authentic. It's like you're setting yourself up to show, I want people to see that I'm happy, and I want my husband to understand that I'm an American, and we're going to do things and celebrate the American wins. Yes, we're going to celebrate those Yankees. Woman, sit your butt down and shut up. Like, why are you posting something so insignificant, clearly staged, and has no purpose? You stood on the balcony next to the late Queen of England. You have such a special place in history, and you are doing the most fake, blatantly cringe moments on social media that make you look very uncouth. It makes you look not like somebody who has any sense of class about you. You know, you don't set up these fake moments of joy and film it as if you were spontaneously caught in a happy moment. I have no patience for this woman and the stupid things that she does. It is so tragic. And Harry just looks completely miserable. You know, he is just going through the motions. But one day, he is going to pop and be done and fed up with it. I believe he already is. But he has to be very strategic in any major decision that he ends up making around his marriage to Meghan. That time has not come yet. But you can tell. I mean, what man looks at a woman doing something like that and says, girl, you got it going on. That's some good thing. You just set up the camera and filmed yourself being happy and gonna come over and give me a kiss when I'm just like relaxing, like I don't care. Like, I just love it when my wife does that. There ain't no man in the world that is feeling a woman that does that. Okay? It's just not happening. Because that is what you call fakery and fraud-like behavior. Okay? But that's what makes Meghan so much of the mentee that she is of Sarah Ferguson. Because don't get it twisted, folks. That's exactly how she sees Sarah Ferguson, because of what has come out and what Sarah is going to be doing. I'm going to tell you about that. So there was this article that came out in the Daily Mail that says that Meghan Markle mirrors Sarah Ferguson's outlandish attitude from losing the HRH title and reality TV stints to explosive confessions with Oprah Winfrey. If you look at what Meghan has done, she does mirror a lot of the things that Sarah Ferguson has done. Now, we know in the past that Sarah has done a lot of nefarious things. And when you look to Meghan Markle, you can see how Meghan is definitely in the lane, the same lane as a Sarah Ferguson, but I believe a lot more dangerous than a Sarah Ferguson. Okay? With this most recent information about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor losing his Prince title and other titles, Sarah Ferguson, because the question had been asked, well, what about Sarah now? And the royals were like, well, whatever, be gone with you. Like, they did not care. There was no reply of anything that Sarah was going to get. Andrew is still going to be provided for financially, privately through his brother. But Sarah, they just threw her away. Meghan feels like she's been thrown away because she's not getting the half in, half out that she wanted as being a part of the royal family. So you have to look at the things that Meghan has done and what she's going to do. So let's just look briefly at this, because I want to give you some insight and then give you the, I believe, explosive info that is going to come out about Sarah. So I talked about the similarities between the loss of titles, the Oprah Winfrey interview celebrations, the TV stars, TV stunts, TV royalty things that Meghan has done. Fergie has been dubbed the Duchess of Excess, and Meghan, nicknamed Duchess Difficult, entered the royal family during vastly different eras. Several parallels can be noted in both their public endeavors and appearances. Now, Sarah Ferguson was first embraced into the firm at the age of 26, marrying Prince Andrew at Westminster Abbey in July of 1986. However, While the Duchess of York came from a background of wealth and aristocratic connections, Meghan was born across the pond, and prior to meeting her prince, had been working as a leading actress in the popular TV show Suits. And this is why Meghan is so much more dangerous than Sarah, because at least Sarah has a little bit of that background from being first British, from aristocratic background, having some similarities to Prince Andrew, or Andrew now, right? But Meghan, for her, it was like open her up to a candy shop. She had no dealings near anything that she would experience while being within the royal family. So she has been exposed to something that is completely foreign to her. Sarah had a little bit of more insight. And so because Meghan has not had these experiences of Harry and has done the pushback as she has done, this is what makes her so much more dangerous than Sarah. Do you feel me? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so Meghan and Harry, we know, wed in this ceremony at St. George's Chapel in 2018, with it hoped that the American actress turned Duchess would carve out the way for new modern age royalty. But she couldn't do it, nor did she want to do it. She wanted to be the person that used the opportunity to propel her independent career. Hence the word independent, because it was never going to be Harry and her together in this new life together. It was Meghan using her life connection to Harry to propel her own independence. We know that Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2020, and then they relocated to California. Fergie, on the other hand, her life came to a drastic close in 1996. Yet despite their different backgrounds and having withdrew from royal duties under dissimilar circumstances, both Meghan and Fergie's lives in the public eye seem to hold somewhat interchangeable connections. Now, following their respective exits from royal duties, both women have been stripped of their HRH titles. Fergie was able to maintain her Duchess of York title as a courtesy. So it went from Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of York, to Sarah, Duchess of York. Likewise, like no laws were passed or documents signed to prevent Meghan or Harry from continuing to use the HRH title, the pair made an agreement with the late Queen and senior officials that they would stop using the word royal and their HRH duties as a mark of respect, which we know Meghan couldn't even do. This woman could not even respect that. She couldn't respect anything from the Queen. Ask yourself, what kind of woman cannot respect the Queen of England, the late Queen Elizabeth? Just that alone gives you the context. Something wrong with you, girl. Something is wrong with you. That's all you need to know. We generally give people the benefit of the doubt. Even though we see how you behaved, we kind of say, okay, I'm going to let that slide. Give you the side eye and let that slide. But then you end up being disappointed yet again. What we do know is that both Sarah and Meghan have experienced these similar realities of not being able to really accept their lives within the royal family, being a part of this very ancient institution, which they both knew that they were going to marry into. They weren't kidnapped and told to just, okay, this is your new life. No, they willingly chose to be in this life, said I do, and agreed to the life that they knew that they were going to have. Even if it was anything that you had expected, you stay your butt in there and you uphold what you said you were going to do. Okay? But that's not what happened. Meghan, we know, has used her HRH behind closed doors with her friends. We all remember her using it when she gifted things to her friend. And then Sarah did the same thing because there were no laws passed. It was just a casual thing. Whatever. I'm just going to use my title because I want to. Like, that was the attitude. And that's what Sarah Ferguson did as well. I mean, first of all, what kind of person calls themselves that anyway? Like, there's so much wrong with how Meghan sees herself. This is what is so astounding that you're going to even address yourself as an HRH to your friend. Like, what kind of person does that? The image suggested that Meghan calls herself Her Royal Highness to friends and in personal correspondence. However, a spokesperson for the Sussexes insisted that the couple do not use HRH titles for commercial purposes. Whatever. Okay, so royal commentator Ingrid Seward said that I think if her late grandmother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, was still around, she would be highly offended, as she was very sensitive about that. The Queen didn't remove HRH, but she told them not to use it. But she isn't here anymore, so maybe Harry and Meghan think that they can get away with it. Key word, they can get away with it. So it's like you're going to do things even though you know you shouldn't do it, but you're going to do it anyway because it's about your title. It's about appearing to be the HRH and to get away with it because you know you can. Until you don't get away with it anymore, and then you're called out and you're just like, well, whatever, so I'm a fraud and people know, so what? Like, that's the attitude. Both duchesses' inability to entirely remove themselves from the public domain despite withdrawing from the firm can also be seen in their respective reality television projects. Fergie turned towards reality television in the desperate bid to pay off her hefty debts that racked up into the millions. We know that she had this 6-part series, Finding Sarah, was also hoped to help redeem her public image following a litany of public scandals that included her infamous cash for access proposition. The Oprah Network program commissioned for $300,000 granted cameras never before seen access into the Duchess's life and was subtitled Going on a Journey to Find Myself Again. And then we know what Meghan did. She did this with Love Meghan show. She did the show with Harry that made them a lot of money. So there's clearly an interest in self-promoting and doing things that can highlight you in this role of royalty. We know that Sarah Ferguson has come out, being the author of children's books. Meghan has come out. She has written a book. Like, there's a lot of things that Meghan is doing independent of her royal life that Sarah Ferguson has already done. We know also that Fergie released a range of products in 2020, including a tea and biscuit set, pin brooch, and face mask bearing an acute resemblance to Meghan's notorious As Ever brand. So even more similarities from Sarah Ferguson to Meghan. Like, Meghan is clearly watching the things that Sarah does. And she's taking note that these are things that she could do because they both are in a situation where they need to make money. Meghan is living independently of Harry right now, trying to be the money maker. Harry don't have a job. He's not making no money. Like, what he's going to do? He don't have no talent. Sarah has been kicked to the curb since the royal family has taken away Andrew's title, and she's out there to fend for herself. So what is Sarah going to do? What is Sarah Ferguson going to do now? And what do you think Meghan is going to do now that her As Ever brand is essentially a flop? This woman is not going to be making the millions and millions of dollars that she thinks she's going to make from starting this brand. So what now for the two? And the one thing that's also very similar is how they both expect VIP treatment. Sarah Ferguson expects it, Meghan expects it. There's this entitlement attitude that they have. Although they don't really want to adhere to the rules of royalty, they want to have people still treat them like royalty, although they have no sacrifice of having a royal-like attitude and supporting of the crown. Sarah Ferguson, so much so, has not been one to really take digs at the royals, but what is getting ready to happen is going to change all of that. Meghan is good friends with Princess Eugenie, Sarah Ferguson's daughter. However, that is even starting to change because there are now tensions between Sarah Ferguson and her girls, the Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, which would be somewhat of a support for Meghan because then she can kind of jump behind Eugenie and really embrace someone that is still connected to the royal family, which I think is not really as close as it used to be. But my point is this. It has been revealed to me that I can't confirm 100%, but it makes a lot of sense. It looks like because Sarah Ferguson has been thrown out, she's been thrown out, just like Meghan has essentially said about herself in the Netflix documentary.
And I realized that I wasn't just being thrown to the wolves. I was being fed to the wolves.
The Sarah Ferguson, they're saying, is going to be giving a bombshell Oprah Winfrey interview. She needs to make money and she needs to take care of herself. She's completely devastated. And I think the reality of Meghan and her fake trying to show she's happy with these social media posts show that she's not happy either. Because that's what you do when you're not happy. You try to show you are happy by the things that you post. You're trying to give a false sense of your reality. Because if you're really happy, do you really post about it? No, you don't. But it looks as if there is even a chance that Meghan and Fergie could come together to essentially be allies. You look at all the similarities, you look at everything that has happened with where they are now and how Fergie is independent of Andrew. They're saying she's not going to live with him anymore because why? She doesn't want to. He doesn't have anything. She wants her own independence. And we know Meghan does too. So at this point in time, all you have to look at is what is going to happen with Fergie to know what is going to happen with Meghan. And if Fergie is going to go against the royal family to make money, it would make so much sense for her to join forces with Sarah Ferguson to really make money independent of the crown. And that is what is being said and speculated right now. And it makes so much sense. But we have to wait and see what happens, of course. But if it sounds like that is something that they would do, believe me, more than likely it is something that they are going to do. Meghan is on a war path because Harry is now a hostage. She needs to make money because her brand is not doing well. She's not going to make the money she needs to live this very independent millionaire life. And Fergie is in the same situation. So wouldn't it make sense that they would come together to join forces to make a lot of money with what they have experienced behind palace walls? Folks, this is unbelievable. We have to wait and see, of course, but I'm telling you, look to what Sarah Ferguson has done to understand the motives of Meghan Markle. Because she is looking to Sarah as a mentor, someone who has given her the blueprint to do the things that she would like to do. It is not going to be good for the royal family, and I just can't wait for King William to take the throne, because he will definitely do things that will be a lot more brazen in the pushback to these rogue ex-royals. It's a developing story, folks. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'm all in for it. All right. With that said, I will see you all in my next video. Toodles.